day. In today's lesson, we will be dealing with communicative competence. What do you mean by communicative competence? So, communicative competence means knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. It also means understanding what others are saying in the language they are speaking in. A person competent in communication expresses his or her feelings and ideas in a way that promotes understanding and harmony. So not those that will cause troubles or misunderstanding between two people. So communicative competence can be achieved in four aspects. So we have grammatical competence, discourse competence, social linguistic competence, and strategic competence. First is the grammatical competence. It involves knowing the form of utterance to be used, such as pronunciation and grammar. To be grammatically competent, you must be able to know about grammar and know how certain words are pronounced correctly so that your listeners will not misinterpret you. So a grammatically competent person understands the meaning and function of grammatical construction. So for example, in the sentence, Maria visited the poor victims. So you must be able to know that the subject is Maria because she is the doer of the action, and visited is the predicate because it tells something about the subject and it also is the verb. You must also understand that there are words that sound the same, spell the same, and pronounce the same but different in meaning. Example, while we live, let us live. So the first live in the sentence means we are alive. The second live means to really make the most of our lives. A grammatically person must also know idiomatic expressions. So these are types of informal language that have meaning different from the meaning of the words in the expression. Example, he takes a bath once in a blue moon. So this is not necessarily mean that he takes a bath in a blue moon, but rather it means that he seldom takes a bath. Another example, she is a fair weather friend. So this means someone who acts as a friend in good times but is not here or there in bad times. Next, you are a great pain in the neck. So pain in the neck means very irritating or annoying. A grammatically competent person must also know if the person is exaggerating or not. So he must know what hyperbole is. Hyperbole involves exaggerated expressions in order to produce emphasis. So example, my hand hurts so much, it's going to drop off. So here, it's extremely exaggerated because no matter how your hands hurt, it will never drop off unless you are a victim of a bump. Another example, he is as skinny as a toothpick. It is exaggerated because a person cannot be as skinny as a toothpick. You also have to be knowledgeable in how to pronounce words correctly. So I have here prepared some of International Phonetic Alphabet. We have the S sound and the A sound. So now let's try to read. Cat, mad, hat. And for A sound, we have cat, mad, hat. So that's how you pronounce those words. Another, we have the soft E sound and the short E sound and the long E sound. Let's read. Tan, tin, tin. Bet, bit, beat. Fell, feel, feel. So that's how you are going to pronounce those words. We also have here some of common mispronounced words. So let's read. Poignant, almond, epitome, mademoiselle, and rendezvous. Next is the discourse competence. So it refers to the way ideas are linked across sentences in written or spoken. So knowing how to interpret the larger context and knowing how to construct written text or spoken language of different genres. So that is a discourse competence. So we have here the different genres. We have the narrative text, procedural text, expository text, persuasive, and descriptive text. So when we say narrative text, it pertains to any type of writing that relates a series of events and includes both fiction, such as novels, short stories, poems, and non-fiction, such as memoirs, biographies, news stories. So in short, text that tells a story, that is a narrative text. Next, we have the procedural text. Instruct someone on how to complete a specific task. So generally, this then falls into two categories. So how to make something and how to do something. So recipes, directions, manuals, and science experiments are common examples of procedural text. Next, we have the expository text. These are texts that gives information about a certain topic. So meaning its main goal is to make someone knowledgeable about a particular subject matter. Next is the persuasive text. These are texts that aim to convince someone to believe the arguments provided by the writer or the speaker. Next, we have the descriptive text. These are texts which says what a person or thing is like. Its purpose is to describe and reveal a particular place, a particular person, thing, and etc. Next is the social linguistic competence. You must be able to relate well with people through words and actions. So you must be able to know how to use and respond to language appropriately. So given the setting, given the topic and the relationships among the people. So for example, in our culture, we are taught not to commit backbiting or say negative things about a person when that person is not around. We also have to remember that we must be more sensitive communicating to people with different cultural background, because what may be acceptable in our culture may be impolite or offensive in another culture. On the other hand, what may be polite in our culture may be awkward in other cultures. For example, the use of sir and mom in addressing a colleague is considered polite in Filipino culture, but it is awkward when addressing your boss in countries like the US and Canada. Next, a person who is socio-cultural competent knows and uses the proper forms used in specific language forms. So he or she must know how to use polite expressions and be aware of impolite expressions. So we have here phrases and statements that you may use. So in expressing one's opinion, you can say, I think, and then you have to add that, I believe, in my humble opinion, the way I see it. And in interrupting a speaker, you can use this, excuse me, may I interrupt you? Pardon my speaking, so something like that. We also have here expressions in making and accepting apologies. So we have I'm sorry, I apologize for, it's okay, that's nothing. And if you're going to ask for, give, and reject an advice, we can use these expressions. Please advise me on how to. Maybe you have some advice on. Please tell me how to. Thanks, I'll think about it. And we also have rejecting advice, which is I'm not so sure and so on. And for asking for, offering and accepting and rejecting help, you may use this. Please help me carry this bag. Could you help me? May I help you? How can I help? Yes, please help me. I'm okay, don't worry. It's okay, no need to. So if you are going to ask for and giving directions, You can use this. Can you tell me how to? How do I get to? And then if you are going to give a direction, you can say that you walk down and then you state the street name. Take a left or right, turn left and right. When you reach that place, take a left or right. And then, a social cultural competent also avoid unproductive comments. Avoid making general comments about people based on religion, such as Muslims are prone to violence. You have to avoid that. Status, such as older unmarried men have emotional problems. In gender, such as women are weak and cannot do the task of men. In age, such as teenagers are liberated and easygoing individuals. So we have to understand that we must be sensitive to what effect we may have to our listeners by saying unproductive comments. So I hope you've learned something from